Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today it's with great pride that I revisit something that isn't necessarily new but is stunning. The NAD Master Series M22 V2 power amplifier. This simple, elegant component is a master in design. Massive wattage. True wattage. None of these inflated numbers. Stable down to 2 ohms. It's rated at 300 watts by 2 channel. It's got a dynamic wattage of 700 and easily 400 into 4 ohms and all of those things. But its purpose is often a companion to the multi-award-winning M33 streaming integrated amplifier with exactly the same amplification stages on board. The two can work together in a bridged mono design to deliver 700 watts of clean, pure, almost infinitesimally low total harmonic distortion. 700 watts a channel per speaker. Stunning. The build quality is second to none, the elegance is second to none, and the way it slots so brilliantly under its partner with the M33, or as a standalone power amplifier for any of the highest end home theatre or stereo combinations. It's wonderful. And why I'm sharing it with you today. Master Series. NAD's been in this game a long time. Their Master Series has always been their signature, their elite level, and their digital hybrid amplification that's in here is utterly perfect. Some of the best dampening factors, some of the lowest noise floors. It's perfect. It's also kind of understated from a box perspective. We've got a shipping carton on the outside, okay? It's got some model and serial number information on one end, some basic unpacking instructions, NAD and Master Series on the outside, along with an emulation on the other side of exactly the same information for model and serial number. Opening these really straightforward. It's not uncommon in New Zealand for these products to have been opened by the distributor for a New Zealand power cord, you know, the universal one chucked away and a New Zealand one added. So it's often that we see a little seal just to imply that that work has been done. Nevertheless, it's exactly as you will see it should it arrive in your home. The unboxing instructions are pictorials designed quite clearly to make sure that you don't end up overexerting yourself trying to unbox it, but it's pretty straightforward. The freight carton can very easily be discarded, revealing inside the inner box, and again highlighting that it has been opened for the purposes of installing a New Zealand power cord. Traditionally, it's got a heat shrink plastic over the top, but of course that has been breached and a power cord in it. Opening that part really straightforward, and quite realistically the job's done as far as this plastic goes. And we see still subtle but somewhat more elegant packaging. Again, the two-tone design, NAD Master Series, and a little bit of information about the model. An emulation of the serial numbers on both ends. Opening this part's really straightforward, and as we pause to have a look, we see that the corners have been brilliantly protected with 4 pieces of additional cardboard cornering to ensure that any corner impact is absorbed and no damage can occur to your product. Now, this part is one thing I'd like to pause on. With the introduction of such permanence in polystyrene and other environmentally questionable packaging options, NAD in their Master Series and some of their lesser products like Blue Sound have opted to offer a decomposable or compostable and recyclable cardboard packaging solution. This will, if in landfill, just degrade into nothing. If recycled or thrown in the compost, of course, becomes something worthy of recycling. And the top, which we see, is one of 2 accessory boxes. Okay, this heavyweight pressed cardboard. Lovely packaging. In the accessory box, we see a basic earthing strap. Now, the purpose of that, of course, is to ensure that the earth potential of the source amplification, preamp or M33, whatever partner you choose, is linked and hardwired together, and dropping the noise floor and ensuring that at no point there can be an extraneous sort of hum associated with something weird between those two devices. We've got a little bit of an insert which then protects the cup feet. Now that is designed, there's a magnet by the way underneath, and they clip underneath the power amplifiers so that you can protect the surface that they're on. The units, like the M33 and the predecessors before, have beautiful milled feet, but they're milled to such a sharp point that you run the risk of dragging it across your hi-fi rack and scratching the furniture. So these give you a lovely option of adding it easily and clip on the bottom the sort of soft foam pad. There's 4 of those, and then a little bit of a freebie, which is a NAD branded USB key. Kind of cool and nice and elegant, in fact beautiful as far as its outcome. A little keychain there as a bit of a freebie, and the option, should a software update or something like that be required, to do so via USB. Okay. Lifting the unit out is very, very straightforward at this point, and I'm just going to pause and put it off to one side. Because again, there's the other half of the pressed recycled cardboard packaging. They use both a combination of desiccant and antifungal sort of thing. So to be honest, if you're choosing cardboard, you have to be a lot more careful as far as how you ensure that that doesn't degrade in transit. So there's a handful of those kind of things associated with it. In the bottom, we see the final accessory box. Okay. Off that goes. Now this is just the power cord. In fact, there's a little sticker on it, and this is, of course, is where the universal or international power cords were removed, and with the space wasted, a New Zealand power cord added so that we can use it straight away. The power cord is in its own little box, and the packaging, I would suspect, is used for other items like remote controls and accessories associated with their integrated amplifiers and similarly packaged streamers and other things in their master series. Okay, it's a traditional 3-pin IEC power cord, and again cardboard packaging. Now, looking at the unit, firstly it's in a beautiful cloth bag. The cloth bag itself is then pulled closed with a drawstring. So opening that element of it is very, very straightforward. The inside of the bag is lovely and soft, and the bag itself, and I hope in fact hang around for the photographs, I'll try and take some close-ups. The bag itself is then branded with the NAD Master Series logos. That little attention to detail is starting to highlight some of the elements that NAD have gone to great pains to ensure that they have ticked all of those boxes and delivered to you something of perfect elegance as well as perfect performance. Now the easiest way of getting the unit out of the box is, out of the bag of course, is simply just sort of support it in the centre and slide the bag off. Being the power amplifier, it's relatively light, but its weight no longer implies performance. As we look at some alternatives that have massive toroidal power supplies, the hybrid digital design means it's relatively lightweight despite delivering all of the power. Looking at it for the first time, we see just how elegant it is and what a complement physically it is to the other Master Series products. We see very subtly an NAD logo, which is illuminated as far as the state of the product, red, orange and I don't know, green or blue, for its operation status. Leaning it forward, we see a screen printed stereo power amplifier in its model, which is M33. On the top we have a touch sensitive button. Tapping it brings the product out of standby almost immediately. Pressing and holding it for about 5 seconds will then shut the unit back down. avoiding any sort of bumps that would immediately shut it off, you have to be aware of your operation as far as, hey, I want to turn it off, I'm going to be patient and click. Tilting it forward, we see again what a complement it is to the rest of the Master Series range, sharing the two-tone design and beautifully elegant engineering. Everything is so well thought out with all of NAD Master Series products, and it's beautiful to, as far as all of the elegance. Every screw hole is perfectly placed. Every grill, everything is done so well that it becomes such a wonderful product from a performance and pride of ownership perspective. You get a glance at the main power supply, and it's almost dual mono design as far as its output. Looking at the side, we see adequate ventilation and a beautiful extruded side, and again, as I mentioned, the milled sharp spiked feet. And again, hang around for photographs, we'll always take some close-ups. Looking at the back, being a power amplifier, of course, it's relatively boring. It's functional, and with that, beautiful. We see the ground that the earth cable they supply is designed to attach to. It's got a lovely fit and finish, and beside it a basic 3-pin IEC power socket, along with a separate fuse. There's a lovely elegant rocker switch with a good hardy click, and then we've got the series of inputs, both easily labelled left and right. The left input is closest to the power socket and has beautiful RCA inputs as well as balance, with a selector switch beneath to enable you to operate either single-ended RCA or full balanced ins. It's emulated, of course, on the other side with the right input and again a selector depending on the input that you are utilising. The outputs are relatively clearly labelled, and the reason we have this line underneath is because the unit, as I implied, can be very, very easily bridged to mono. With a click of a switch, you go from stereo to mono, and you follow the wiring diagram slightly differently as far as the input and output associated with that mode. We've got a touch button at the back for the brightness of the front LED. We've got a gain of low, medium and high switch, which is unique to this model, as well as a 12-volt trigger to ensure that it can turn on as whatever it's slaved to is also turned on via either remote or front. A couple of basic screws to put everything in place, and the other output associated with its channel. The fit and finish of these outputs is stunning. It allows for both bare wire, spades and banana plugs in their classic 5-way design. Again, looking at it, and I hope the light catches this brilliantly. Just look at how elegant this product is and get a glimpse of what's inside. So, there we have it. NAD Master Series M22 V2. 300 watts a channel. Bridge it to mono, you've got 700 watts on tap. This stunningly elegant power amplifier it's wonderful, it's stunning, and well worth every dollar spent on it. So proudly unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.